will start a circle of support. Let us all stand and take a while. Put your right hand over your heart and repeat after me. We will look out for our sisters.
We will look out for our sisters.
Friends, friends of friends.
Friends, friends of friends.
We shall support and protect each other.
We shall support and protect each other.
In case of any abuse, bullying, or harm.
In case of any abuse, bullying, or harm.
Look out for our classmate, neighbor.
Look out for our classmates, neighbors.
Or even a total stranger who may need help.
Or even a total stranger who may need help.
And if we know someone at risk, we will surround that person with emotional and physical support.
We will surround that person with emotional and physical support.
Use all our strength, knowledge, love, and resources.
Use all our strength, knowledge, and resources.
Protect that person for as long as that person needs protection.
Protect that person for as long as that person needs protection.
I'm sorry. Okay. Alright, so I guess the new rule is you have to say three people's names loudly.
Okay.
Let's try this again. Alright, we got this. I believe in us all. Jessica.
Dina.
Ruth.
Ramya.
Jessica.
Dina.
Ruth.
Maria.
The main goal is to engage young women in this dialogue about forced marriages and to get them to speak up about this issue, because young women are the ones who are mostly forced into marriages, and they're the ones who are mostly affected by this issue.
The I Do project is pretty much an initiative to get young girls thinking about various topics, domestic violence, consent, gender abuse, and forced marriages specifically, all through art. All through spoken word, through poetry, and just kind of offering a space where we can talk about issues that aren't discussed, you know, in your traditional classroom setting. And then also having fun, like getting to know yourself, getting to know influences, and not even in a negative way, even like family influence, friend influence, peer pressure, and then understanding that there are situations as young women where we are especially vulnerable, so just equipping ourselves with knowledge, understanding to not only help ourselves but to help other women around us.
Calm down. Are you okay? Tell me what happened. Okay, this is so not fair. Are you sure you're okay? I'm so sorry about what happened, really. Just try to calm down now. Think of the friends, family that loves you. I love you. Don't cry, everything will be fine. You're just wasting your energy to cry. It's not worth it, you're way better than that. Come here. Don't worry about it, okay? Okay, good. I want you to be fine. Come to me whenever you want to. I'll always be here for you. You're beautiful just the way you are. Now that's a beautiful smile.
I think that discussion is important because it raises awareness that, you know, over the span of your life, you don't always have to be in a relationship, because I think that, like, growing up today, it's considered, like, awkward to be alone. I think awkward is, like, a huge term that's used all the time, and, like, anything that you do by yourself is considered awkward, whether you feel awkward about it or not. And I don't think that's necessarily true, because being alone is really important, and it's important to be able to be independent instead of to always rely on somebody else, and to be able to, like, support yourself.
So, like, whenever I tell people I have 4 sisters, people shock for some reason. Okay, so how many sisters do you have? 4 sisters. There's 5 of you? How do your parents handle it? Your dad is so lucky. So is your mom. She has so much help. No boys? I'm so jealous of you.
Nice.
Well, traditionally I find that the idea of honor is different from men and women in the aspects of the various definitions of honor. So I feel like there are different definitions that are attributed more to men than there are to women, right? The most common one used for women would be honor in regards to their virginity and their purity. And I feel like to really change the difference between that, or the difference that is there between men and women, is to it's less an individual thing for a woman, but more a societal perspective. So I think it's more society's responsibility to be able to change their viewpoints, because I don't feel like it's anything that women are really doing to themselves. It's what they're being subjected to by societal norms and cultural influences.
I would say it's different based on the idea of protection, and reputation. So as a woman, you have certain roles that have been made from you during society, or roles that you have learned from your family that you have to pursue, while they sort of see men as more like individuals, while girls are like a reflection of the family, in a sense. That's just how I think of it. What I mean by that is, it's more like the whole idea of boys being able to go out late at night and girls having to be protected and in the house. It's completely different, because you think of the guy as he's an individual, he can protect himself, while as a girl, it's like you have to protect the vulnerability of her being female.
I want to be placed in a law school by the end of 5 years. I want to be a lawyer by 10 years.
Ow! Trick.
In 10 years right now, and from now, I would like to be looking for a job, I guess, or maybe even at a job, and thinking of teaching abroad, or pretty much start doing some paperwork and stuff. And because I forgot that we were supposed to do 1 year, I actually thought that we were supposed to do like 20 years or something. So
You're doing 20 years.
Whoa! So then I wrote, pretty much get used to like teaching and having good relations and friends with people abroad.
Alright. And you're a rebel, right?
Huh?
You're a rebel?
Oh yes, rebel.
Yeah, very rebellious in that.
I'm running away from my parents.
I hear that.
In 5 years, I want to be graduated from that thing that I don't know yet.
I'm a snap that. Nice.
And then I want to have a job based on that thing I don't know yet. And then in 10 years, I want to be married, have a job that I like, and the perfect life.
Perfect. A month from now, I want to be on break. A year. Well, I was thinking more like at the end of school year. It was to be on summer vacation. And then 5 years from now, yeah, I want to start a career for. No, I want to get my Bachelor of Science so that I can go into vet school for the 10-year plan.
I want to be free by the end of this month. I want to be entering university by the end of this year. I want to graduate from university by the end of 5 years. And I want to change at least 100 people's lives by the end of 10 years.
What?
Deep, man.
What do you mean by free? Want to be free?
Oh, because my mom's going to China for a month.
Oh.
I thought you meant free from school.
No. I thought you meant from like.
So my approach to workshops were to ensure that there was enough time for writing, so to be able to incorporate the information that was necessary, but to also give them an opportunity to write. And I found that a lot of them were able to write on their own, but then to bring the pieces together was the challenge. And I kind of acted as, I would say, a director in that instance, or an editor, so to see how they could come together, bring their pieces together, and make it one effective piece.
Family piece, where you could do sections, you know what I mean? Where you could have like, the great thing about spoken word is it doesn't have to be sequential, right? Like you could have a voice that you're a friend, and then all of a sudden you're a victim, and then you're this, you're that, you're that. So you can really play with it, and you can get all different angles, which I think would be even more powerful than just having, you know, because you've already kind of explored what it's like to do it in pairs, right? 3, 2, 1 again.
Because I'm a woman.
And I'm a woman. Now you can have energy. 3, 2, 1.
Because I'm a woman.
We are we.
I don't know. Okay. It's like a habit, right? Like you want to say it up.
We are we. That's what we see.
Okay, but even see if someone else says it like the way I'm saying it. Okay, so we'll say it together. Okay? 3, 2, 1. We are we. See? Because you have someone like
Great
take a pause.
3, 2, 1. Break out of the cage.
Yeah. Okay, so break falls.
3, 2, 1.
Break out of the cage.
At school, when I write, I always get like a really low mark, but here it's really encouraging because everyone will just be like clapping and snapping their fingers. So it makes me feel more confident. I don't know, something like that.
You ready? So the first time I'm gonna read them out, I'm just gonna list them out, and the second time I'm gonna read them out, I'm gonna kind of say them with like poem, with energy. Confused, silly, out of it, enthusiastic, motivated, cranky, accomplished, unorganized, tired, sleepy, anxious, excited, exhausted, stressed out, tired as hell, and sleepy. Alright? So now I'm gonna read it again with enthusiasm. Confused, silly, out of it, cranky, sleepy, anxious, motivated, excited, accomplished, unorganized, stressed out, exhausted, excited, tired as hell. So that was wicked, that was really cool. Especially since all four of us are not always talking at the same time, it's like at the very beginning and the very end. So two people can even like, we can squat down and go like,
And I thought of
right? And then you can say,
climax.
yeah, you can like come up to her and then she turns.
What's up, John?
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
You're tapping.
Sometimes like hands are easier than your feet.
How many times you do it?
After all these things that we've said, you have the strength, like even when everyone leaves, it's like you have the strength to say, take away your free will. It's like, I'm here on my own. You can say it. We decided to like tackle on like the source, like the forced marriage project, talk about the definition of what a forced marriage is, talk about what kind of constitutes as what is consent, how do you like, what is explicit consent, what isn't consent, and even just like identifying and being comfortable with like talking about, well, what are the next steps? What if somebody has been abused or somebody is kind of going through things? How do you deal with the healing process, either at a personal level or from somebody to help?
Maybe if the girl doesn't do anything, then the guy can interpret it as the girl didn't mind. She enjoyed it, but was being hard to get. Because she didn't give him a dirty look, where she might be thinking, let's just act like that never happened, ignore, keep going.
We are weak. That's what we seek. Why do we seek to be weak?
Because I am a woman. I'm expected to know when it's appropriate to speak.
Expected to know certain things.
Not certain things.
Dress a certain way.
Know when to keep silent. Be at the spotlight.
Not be at the spotlight.
I have limits. I don't know who to trust. It wounded her left behind without a lifetime.
I don't like the journey. What we're doing is volunteers, leaving the world awake with a haunted past, causing sleepless nights.
Awake with a haunted past, causing sleepless nights.
Break out of the cage.
Well, through the workshop, I've learned that consent is pretty much permission, but it has to be more than just that. It has to be explicit, verbal, and you can't really be put under pressure when you're giving it.
So the difference between forced and arranged marriage is with arranged marriage, there's consent, but with the forced marriage, it's more like the parents telling you you're gonna get married and you have no choice. And it matters because forced marriage can lead up to abusive relationship or like depression because you're not happy with what you want.
So I met my guy. So we're gonna get married. I don't know when, but we're gonna get married.
That
was the story.
I want to comment on how that's kind of like the already get to meet. I mean,
Yeah, we're kind of engaged.
person ahead of time. So I mean, a lot of people right now are probably wondering like who they'll end up with and how they're probably like walking your hands right now, and then you're like that guy right there. I got this all down. You know what's going on.
The reason it's important to distinguish between arranged and forced marriages is to recognize that there is this kind of marriage happening where it starts off with abuse and it can result in a lot of abuse, and it's just to recognize the abuse there, and then also to know that arranged marriages can be very healthy marriages.
And then the second pillar was very much about our relationships between family and friends. And so the girls really gravitated towards like friendships because that's what they're dealing with in high school, like their friends are their biggest peer group. So we were exploring what constitutes as a good friend, frenemy, and like really having that dialogue of what do you do if a friend is in trouble? And whether that trouble is just like they got a bad grade, to like they're fighting with their parents, to they're in an abusive relationship, and kind of figuring out and navigating what are those tools that we can use and talk about and approach, and figuring out like the language to use to not victimize the person and say, well, did you do this, but like really to create like a support group to be like a really good friend.
I think it's very important for friends to support you, especially in situations that have to do with arranged and forced marriages, because if something were to happen to you that pretty much blocks you off from the rest of the world, like no social media, internet, phones, then if your friends already kind of know what's going on, they can try reaching out to you instead of the other way around, because other people, friends, or well, the family, or whatever party is putting you in that situation can make sure you don't have access to things, but they can access everyone else who might know what's going on, so they can help you from the outside.
I have a friend, a unique friend, a friend that doesn't know my mood, a friend that can brighten up my day. Days when she breaks down in tears, I would carry her up from there. I would sit there and hope to disappear. Flashback came into my mind of her joking about her life. A girl so innocent and kind, a girl so devious and true, would think about using a knife. Of course, as a good friend would do, I told her what I went through. Calling me every night, talking about her depressing life. Calling her every night to make sure she was alright. I sat there staring at my nails, wondering when will ever end. I would talk about our past, how we had so much fun and wished it would last. I would talk about our future, how we would do this and that together. Pretending we're always in it together. I gave her hope that things would get better, and she trusted me for now and forever. Finally, I got fed up with her, telling her to get all of her for now and forever.
It's helped me like realize what's going on because I didn't know forced marriage was happening. I was like, what? No way, we're so developed, you know? And then you hear that no, this happens here. It's quite common sometimes.
Like before, I never knew that arranged marriage was different from forced marriage.
I didn't really think that people actually get together and actually discuss topics like this. I thought it was just like there. And like, I don't know, maybe I thought that like people actually don't do much about it. Like awareness, I guess. Like I thought it was just like in little groups at home and whatnot, and like people just know about it but they don't do anything about it. But like in here you actually can like get the inspiration to do something.
Because I am a woman.
Why am I expected to bear the burden of others?
Just because I can. Because I'm a woman.
Why am I expected to be perfect in the roles I was given, not the ones I've chosen?
Because I'm a woman.
Why must I compensate for the weakness of others?
Because I'm a woman.
Why is the behavior of my family reflective of my character?
Because we are women. Shunned in life, remembered in death. You criticized me and told me I'm stupid, ugly, boring, fat. You never liked how I acted, what I said, how I dressed. Stupid, ugly, boring, fat. Desensitized society. You tore me down and pushed me out.
Was that all you really cared about?
Stupid, ugly, boring, fat. Action is taken after tragedy. Shunned and let. Remembered. In death. Love will come.
How could she disobey our family?
She's weak. What's happening with my life?
I don't have a daughter anymore.
I thought I raised her better than this. Why would Dad say that?
I know what's best.
She's my daughter, and I want her to be happy, but what about the happiness of her family?
What will my relatives think?
What's happening with my life?
This is the way it's always been.
That's what a wife does. It's what all we wives do.
Why would Mom say that?
We have an obligation.
Why would Mom say that?
It's our job.
Why can't she understand?
Love will come.
I wonder what Mom thinks of me now.
But she's weak, though, and I just want her to be happy.
He has money and status.
They were supposed to protect me. Be by my side.
I am your father. I know what's best.
A daughter that has shamed her family, her father.
I don't know who she is anymore.
I thought it was family over everything.
My daughter.
I hope you're happy.
I don't know what's going on with her.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
She left for a day, and now the life in her eyes is gone.
I left for a day and now everything's changed.
I don't know how to help her. I'll probably say the wrong thing.
Should I tell somebody?
I can tell she's scared, but about what, I don't know.
There's just so much going on.
I hate feeling like this. I don't know what I can do to help her.
I hate feeling like this. I don't know what to do. Should I tell somebody?
She knows she can tell me anything. Where did it all go wrong?
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 Because I am a woman.
There's a divide between genders.
Between feminine and masculine. What lies there?
Whatever the person decides. You are the key to your own life.
You are your own person.
You define yourself.
You define yourself. You define yourself.
You define yourself.
You define yourself.
You define yourself.
You define yourself.
You define yourself.
Ask, don't take.
Even if we're on a date,
Would you like it if I did take away your free will?
Don't be afraid to voice your opinion. Just because I don't say anything doesn't mean it's okay. Ask for consent and be sure you have my permission.
Be verbally explicit. Confirm your intentions. Don't rely on my body language. I'm not in the mood. No means no.